Hey everybody, hope you're enjoying this dose of hope as we're diving into the scriptures to see what God has to say about hope. We've learned that God is the source of hope. We've learned that hope is an inner image or an expectation of the promises of God. We've also learned that hope is, there's natural hope and there's biblical hope. We're not living on a wish or natural circumstances that are seen and told to us every day by social media and the news, but we have an inner image that is painted by the Word of God. We've also learned that hope is an anchor to your mind, your will, and your emotions. Man, it'll keep you grounded when everything around you is going crazy. Today, though, I want us to look at this idea of the missing ingredient. 1 Corinthians 13:13 says, "Now these three abide, faith, hope, and love." I believe that it takes all three of these spiritual forces activated, known, and working on the inside of a believer for there to be a manifestation in our lives. There's a lot of preaching on faith. I'm a faith preacher. A lot of preaching on the love of God and to walk by love and having that active in our life. Then there's this idea of hope. Where's your hope? Where's that missing ingredient of hope? And, I'm a rules follower by nature, and I think about this when I think about the missing ingredient. If I buy a cake box and I see that image on the front of that, whether it's a red velvet cake or a Dutch chocolate, come on, somebody get excited. I see that image, that's what I'm going for. So if I want to get that image, if I want to get what's on the front of that box, I've got to follow directions. I want to make sure every ingredient's measured just right. I want to make sure I don't forget the egg or the milk or the flour. Why? Because I want that image. And a lot of times I believe that there's a missing ingredient of hope in our lives where we forgot to get the image. We forgot to get the promise of God painted on the inside, and that activates and that causes the promises of God to come alive and to come into fruition into our lives. I want to read this to you real quick. Listen to this. Faith is the hand that lays hold of the promises of God. I'll read it again. Faith is the hand that lays hold of the promises of God. Watch this though. Hope is the inner image that is drawn by the promises of God. And love is the giver of the promises of God. I like to say it this way, is that faith grabs what hope sees and love has given. Listen to this on hope. Hope is defined as the image that we see in ourselves that is produced by the words we hear. That image is solidified by meditation. So here's the thing. There is going to be an image that produced on the inside of you. What's the opposite of hope? Despair. What's despair sound like? You hear it like this: I just can't see how this can turn out, or I can't see how it's going to get better. What is that? That is an inner hope of despair. I can't see how it's going to happen. But see, when you begin to see and you begin to hear the words of God, there's an image that's placed on the inside of you. Watch this, and it's faith grabs what you see and what love has given. I want to encourage you today, make sure that your hope, that your image on the inside is true. Make sure that you're not missing the ingredient of hope so that your faith can lay hold of that image, what we already know that love has divinely given us through Christ. Man, I hope that blessed you today. Hope it encouraged you, and I thank you for taking time to watch these videos, and I'm hoping you're having a great week.